All right, Dan Rothert, top student athlete recruiting. Here to talk to you today about the functionality of your player profile and how that can be used to your advantage in the recruiting process to make the process a little bit easier, but also to maybe get more production out of what you're doing and, not have to spend as much time and energy on things. So the functionality, or one of the reasons I moved to a new profile um, settings and platform for my student athletes that I work with is because of the functionality. And this is really awesome. I'm going to share my screen here, and you'll be able to kind of see some things, and I'll walk you through it, and we'll go from there. So if you look at the player profile, this is Danny Rothert. He's a freshman, so I can pick on him a little bit. He's filled out really well. Make sure you have it all filled out. He's got his number, his club, all these different things that he does. He's got his grade point average, all that stuff. Keep that up to date. You get a new grade point average, your GPA changes, change it a little bit. All right, we want to make sure you're giving coaches the perfect information when they're out there. We talked about having video. We'll add your video if you don't have one yet. Events is a big one. All right. So when you do events, you guys all know when you're going to events, and we email back and forth, or we text or whatever. But if you could please fill out, put your schedules out in advance, what tournaments, what showcases, what even your league schedules. It gives me obviously the power of understanding of what events you're at, so I can help you. I can help you get in front of coaches because I'll be able to reach out to coaches in advance of that tournament. Hey, Danny's playing in this tournament. Go watch him play. It will also give me a reminder to get a hold of you and say, okay, a couple weeks out, let's make sure we're getting a hold of coaches and we're telling them exactly, they know what tournaments you're going to, but we need to be able to tell them, okay, once we have the schedule at field 2 at 3:00 on Saturday, I'll be playing on, with my team. I wear number 18, all these different things. But in advance, just putting a general schedule out is a really big helpful thing for me and for college coaches, so we know when and where you're at, and it's going to change. You're going to add things over time. Those types of things are really important. References, make sure you put your references in there. You don't have to have them write anything. I did because I'm kind of a joke, right? Email and phone numbers, all you really need, and who they are. Accolades, not a big deal. Certainly, if you're all state, whatever it is, it's great, but coaches don't recruit on that. They recruit whether you're a good player or not. I had plenty of kids in my day that weren't getting any awards, and they were still great players for me. And then contact information, make sure your phone number and email, and make sure it's set to live so that coaches can reach out to you. Again, I'll be sending it out to coaches. You can take the link, copy and paste it, copy it, put it in an email to coaches, and you can send it out that way. And coaches have a link exactly, comes right to your player profile. They can go to your video. They can do it that way. You can text it. You can email it. It's really nice. When you text it, it comes up looking pretty on your phone. It doesn't just come up as a simple URL. It has a picture and it has the whole thing, so it pops up, and it means you show it shows you mean business. All right. So I want to get into the processes a little bit. First, checklists. I can send you checklists and things to do, next steps in the process. When you have one thing done, it can kick you the next one of things you can do, and I'll start doing that for you as we get into this. We talked about in a previous video, searching for colleges. You can type in, the region of the country. You don't have to. You can leave it blank if you're open to everybody. You can type, you can put in the division. You can leave it blank as well. Those things are things that you can do in the process to make it a little bit easier. You can do it by major. I don't suggest doing it by major completely, because I don't know that it's 100% accurate. It's pretty accurate, but we don't want to rule anybody out because of a major. Those types of things, public or private, those types of things. I suggest leaving most of it blank, potentially, but you can dive into it a little bit more if you have a really strong ACT or those types of things. But it's not always 100% accurate in terms of that stuff, but it is really, really good. But just you get to a team and say Abilene Christian is the one you're interested in. You can go into Abilene Christian. I kind of said this in my last video. You can click on Abilene Christian and find out more about the school. Go to our athletic website, all these different things, academics about, how to do things at their school, student life, helpful links, all this stuff. All right. It also gives you a little synopsis of the school. What's their acceptance rate? What's their graduation rate? How much does it cost to go to school there? What are similar colleges? What are the most popular majors at those schools? All pretty cool. There's a new version coming out here in the next couple of weeks where they'll merge coaches and colleges. But for now, you got to go to coaches, and you got to type in, you can find those coaches. You can, find out this school, Academy of Art University. It's in San Francisco. You can go to the website. Here's the coach's email address. Here's the coach's phone number, probably an office number. So don't expect it to be a cell phone number to be able to text back and forth with. Here's assistant coach, same thing. All right. So we get more contact information than we were using previously. And I think it's more up to date. So that's a really cool feature to be able to utilize in this process. So, you can find those coach contacts, and assistant coaches. And because sometimes the assistant coaches are the ones, they're kind of sifting through the emails and that type of thing. So if you email both when you send out an email, it's great. Let's go back to coaches. You can say start the process with a coach. And what that means is you can start reaching out to them. First, you can write down, is it a potential good fit? Is it a bad fit? Is it, am I qualified to go there? Am I offered scholarships? You can kind of write down what you're interested in about the schools. You can leave a task for yourself. Hey, I want to follow up with that coach, on February 9th. And I can save it in a little, you'll get dinged on February 9th, with a follow-up. In terms of coaches, you can add coaches and things like that if you found out an email, but that's probably something you're not going to do. You can email from this platform. I'm not a huge fan of this because it gets a little tricky, and I'll show you why. All right. When you send an email through this, you could just type in right here, Coach Wiley, or Kirkland is the assistant, right? And you can get in. It's going to have your automatic link to your profile and your name already in there. You can type up the email. You can copy and paste it. The problem being, because it is a platform and things like that, when you're getting ready to send it, it comes from a different email address, right? So when you send an email from that platform, it comes from drothert6@prodrecruit.com. All right. But then when they email you back, it goes to your danieljrothert@gmail.com. So then it just gets a little tricky. I also think when it comes from your Gmail, it just looks a little more, hey, I did this myself. I'm not, it's not a mass email from Prod Recruit, stuff like that. It looks a little more, hey, I actually spent the time to do this, and you are. So make sure you're doing that the right way. So I think it's better to go that way. But going back to processes, let's go back in. Every time you email somebody, just, hey, send a note. Hey, I emailed Coach. And if you get a response, you can say, oh, it's not saving there, but you can do another one. All right. And you can say, oh, it's just saving it as that. You can say, got response, wants to set up a Zoom. I gave them some possible dates and times. Right? Save. All right, you can log a call. All right. Had a great call, with Seamus Wiley and then when you save it, And then when you save it, I know that you know that you can go back in your notes, what you talked about, maybe um, those types of things. And so you don't forget, everything's in one space. Plus, I can see it. Potentially, your parents can see it. And so when we're going through this and we're like, okay, where is Danny at with certain colleges? I can go into your processes and I can see, all right, with Academy of Art, this is where Danny's at. All right. He's had some follow up. He's had a little conversation back and forth. It's slowed down. It's picked up, those types of things. It's really, really helpful. So we really need to utilize that. It's going to make everything easy so we can go back and forth and we can have, it's not just every few weeks. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Oh, these schools contacted me. It lets you keep track of things. It helps me out. So we know where we're at with certain schools. Those things are all, really, really important. I can give you a checklist. Hey, did you follow up with that coach? Looks like you haven't talked to him in a while. Where you at with them? I can send you an email. I can do it right through here on our platform, and it can really help you in the process. So, there's a lot of great things, and you add that to being able to get coaches' email addresses, send emails, those types of things. We got a really good setup to help you find your best fit opportunity. Have a great day, and we will be in touch very soon.